It's 7:09. Wake up with Mandy. Thanks to Prouds Jewellers on Radio West. I'm catching up with Shara Evans for a little bit of future talk like we do every couple of Mondays. Shara, we're going to talk about Apple versus the FBI.
Well, it is. It's actually a battle for privacy, my privacy and your privacy. The background is that there was a domestic terrorist incident in the United States in December, and sadly 14 people were killed and 22 people were injured. And the FBI found an iPhone 5C that was allegedly used by one of the perpetrators, and they wanted to get into it. And fortunately for all of us, Apple actually has good security on its iPhones. And when you type in a PIN, if you have a number of wrong guesses, it makes you wait progressively longer and longer. And then eventually the way that it works is that it will stop letting you get in and basically turn that iPhone into a brick after a bit. What the FBI wants Apple to do is create a backdoor that would let them have unlimited number of tries of getting into that iPhone, but by extension, potentially any other iPhone. And Apple does not have this kind of software. So essentially this request, which is a court order, was going to compel Apple to write software that would allow people to break iPhones and get into them. Yeah. And they said, no, we're not going to do this. We'll fight this all the way to the Supreme Court if we have to, because there are much further implications in terms of, do we have to build this into the operating system of every single iOS device that we make?
Yeah.
And it sets a precedent. And once that software is created, Mandy, it's unlikely that it would be used just one time.
I know, Shara, I do want to talk about this in more detail. If you wouldn't just mind waiting on the line for a bit.
No worries.
Wake up with Mandy on Radio West, still chatting with Shara Evans about the future. Now, in particular, we're talking about Apple going up against the FBI. Now, the FBI have taken Apple to court, and they're asking them for an algorithm of some sort that allows them to unlock an Apple phone. And this is for a particular case, but it does set a dangerous precedent if the courts were to rule in the FBI's favour, Shara.
If Apple is forced to do that, the same might hold for any other device manufacturer. And in my view, it's a step going backwards, because so many devices that are manufactured today, and, you know, especially new Internet of Things and wearables, they don't have security built in, whereas here we've got security built in, and the U.S. government wants Apple to break it.
Yeah. And I imagine that it's not just about other agencies wanting access to it. I imagine it would also be the dodgy deals, the backyard deals, where someone hands on an algorithm to someone who shouldn't have it and allows access to anyone's phone that they want.
Absolutely, and that is what really scares me, is that once this backdoor is out there, cyber criminals will have it. So let's say you leave your phone in a taxi, somebody could get into it and decide, well, you know, you're really quite a pretty woman. I think I'd like to know where you live. And they get your iPhone, they hack into it, they've got your address, your contacts, all sorts of information. And the next thing you know, they might actually show up at your front door or your back door through your window. You know,
certainly not what I want.
No. Yeah, or get your bank accounts. You know, we're keeping more and more information on our phones, and we need to trust that that information is secure.
Yeah. All right. Well, Shara, I certainly will keep my eye out in the press for that one and see how things unfold. Thank you so much for your time today.
It's a pleasure, Mandy.